All right, folks, welcome back. My name is Rudy. You're watching Alpha Investments, where we report the news, the pops, the drops, the things that seem to go to the moon, the things that bamboozle you and go to zero. And Rudy's going to give you his opinion, and we're going to have a conversation about it. I don't really know what else to say in this video. Oh, yeah, we're talking about Bloomburrows today. So, old Bloomy B, two Bs. This is what I know. Supply of collector boxes seems medium. It's not low. Don't act like there's not enough to go around. Don't get dramatic about it. This isn't Universes Beyond. It's not a Fallout, not Assassin's Creed. Bloomburrow collectors is more normal. I can tell you all that. I think between all distribution, I think I requested 4,000 boxes. I think I got allocated to 1,500, 1,200 boxes. So it is allocated. I couldn't get my giant amount, like for example, when Ixalan and Wilds Drain came out. Ixalan, I requested like 4,000 boxes, and I got like 3,200 Ixalan collector boxes. I got a lot. Obviously, those are like bricks of gold now, because everybody wants Ixalan collectors, and well, no one's got them. Life is funny, because back then, everybody made fun of that set. So, Bloomburrow has some interesting dynamics going for it. It's the first set I've seen in a while where a lot of people, including you all, patrons, regular people who just hate everything, just want a keyboard warrior, everybody's excited about Bloomburrow. The positivity towards the product that hasn't even come out, no print run details, the excitement towards it is quite fascinating. The market is already open arms accepting it, and nothing's even really happened yet. Like, we're getting spoilers and the details of the product, and people are losing their mind. The amount of you all sending me mattresses, the amount of patrons who send me private messages, and they're just like, Rudy, this is the first Magic set. I feel like we're going back to that fairy tale. It's like an extension of Wilds Drain and Throne of Eldraine. Reminds me of the Lorwyn Morningtide era. It's got all the cute animals and creatures. This is what Magic is. Like, the excitement towards this theme and style and the mechanics and the art is already extraordinarily accepting by the market. So that already tells me it's going to probably be a very successful release for Magic and Hasbro, okay? The print run for play boxes, well, doesn't matter. Play boxes are printed demand over the next few years. Yes, just to kind of let everybody know, I've been getting a lot of messages on it. We are about to launch, as we go into August there, we're about to transition, because everybody knows I sell the cheap Magic draft boxes from the last 10 years or whatever we've been doing this. How long have we been doing this? 9 years, 9.5 years. As we transition to play boxes, which will be Thunder Junction play, Carl Manor play, and of course Bloomburrow play, at release, just like draft boxes from the last 9 years, at release, we'll offer it to the patrons. It'll probably be a few dollars more. And then post-release, like 45, 60 days later, we'll be able to get really cheap pricing for the patrons, and you can buy as much play boxes as you want for the next 6 to 12 months. You can buy a case every month if you want. You can buy none, and you can just be a bamboozler. I don't care. It doesn't make any difference. So, the Commander deck thing, I will not be carrying, which was a party foul on my part. I was offered a couple hundred deck sets, and I turned it down because the quantity was so low. I was uncomfortable with it because Commander deck sets on regular standard Magic sets are very volatile. So I'm always very nervous about that, okay? So because in the last 5 years, historically, some Commander deck sets come out and people love them. They go crazy. Everybody wants them. And then other times, well, we have Commander deck sets that come out with a standard release and they don't have any good reprint equity. The EV's bad. People are just pissed off. They don't think they're balanced. They're simply just not fun to play. There's a lot of different reasons, and sometimes they just do terrible. Obviously, this time around, obviously this time around, Rudy not carrying the Commander decks of Bloomburrow was a party foul. I should have taken those couple hundred to run a small sale to you all, but I didn't do it. I screwed up, and that's that. I feel like there's a pretty solid chance that Bloomburrow follows through like the footsteps of Ixalan and Wilds Drain. I don't think the prices come out and skyrocket. The supply is not so low. It's like a Fallout Assassin's Creed situation. But it's got like a medium print run for like the collector boxes, okay? And yes, I know. Wilds Drain collector boxes don't have serialized cards either. I know, so they can print it to oblivion. I've heard it all. I feel like a fair price is $250 or less for the Bloomburrow collectors. I feel at release they should swing around at that, okay? Maybe they swing down to 220, 230, maybe they swing up to 250, 260. We'll obviously have our normal market swings as everybody tries to figure out the value of the product. I don't see this one being the 300, 400, 500 right now. Now, with that being said, I do believe in the next 6 to 12 months, I am very confident that I think this particular product is going to follow in the path of Ixalan and El Drain. The print run is very similar, slightly less actually, and people love the flavor and theme. And now we also have more data, and the public is starting to become more accepting about the actual value of sealed product in 2024. After all these things that's happened between Assassin's Creed, Fallout, Ravnica Remaster, even Outlaws Thunder Junction, I didn't even check that. What's Outlaws Thunder Junction? 200, 210 a collector box plus tax? They're still stable, and that's what you want. You want a collector box to be between that $250 if stores are paying, $180, $190. You want it to be stable. You want the store to make a little bit of money. You want the customer to be angry because they saw it on, Jeff Bezos's Amazon website for a few dollars cheap. You want that normal dynamic, okay? But I still think the opportunity in this stuff is massive. And I still think as we go through the second half of this year, we're going to see a lot more people coming around to, wow, this stuff is not tanking anymore. So that is my opinion on the Bloomburrow situation. I think more importantly than the collector boxes, I want to add one last thing before we cut off today. It seems like the market's finally accepting play boxes. I feel like with most draft boxes from the past, heading to 100 and being like 110, 120 for older draft boxes now, I feel like people paying like 130, 140, 150 for play boxes is now being more acceptable. Now, again, if you're not a Rudy patron, well, first of all, you shouldn't pay 140, 150 for collector boxes or play boxes. That's ridiculous. Again, like I told you all, the goal is we will be carrying play boxes at release, and then post-release, about 30, 60 days later, we'll be adding them to the monthly list, and you can buy them whatever you want between quantities as little as a box all the way up to 6 boxes, and we're going to get the price really cheap for everybody. But similar to draft boxes in the last 9 years, it's going to be that kind of few dollars more box at release, and then it'll kind of level out after the drama and the hype of people's emotions goes away. So I think that's what's interesting to me. I think that draft boxes have all been drifting upwards. Suddenly, everyone's like, oh, play boxes look better now. Where when Karlov Manor play boxes came out, and they were 130s, 140s, and, this was still, pretty end of the bear market, right? Beginning of the bull market, at the beginning of the year. You still had all these draft boxes for what, $70, $80, $90? I mean, it's tough to tell someone to buy a play box for $140 when you can buy, Ixalan Draft from Rudy for $91 shipped to your door. Like, that's a tough argument to make. You can buy a whole case of that from me, and you get like almost $200 off market price versus buying the new play box. So that was kind of everyone's perspective at the early of the year and last year. That seems to really be fading as play boxes are actually starting to become a more acceptable thing in the market. I think it's only going to get kind of bigger and more acceptable post Bloomburrow, and because the draft boxes are all going to be 100 to 130, and I think play boxes around that 130, 150 is what everyone's just going to be used to paying. So that's my opinion on that. So anyways, very excited about it. Not really much drama to say. Just want to report what I've been hearing going on, and I think it's just going to be really successful. I wouldn't overpay for it. I don't think any price spikes are going to happen. Should be a stable release, everybody. Should be a lot of fun.